As many weekends as possible, we would put out from either Port Dover or Turkey Point to try to locate one of the many GPS or Loran coordinates that are marking either a fisherman's hang-up, a known shipwreck, or a geographic location marked by the Geological Survey of Canada. In aiding the Geological Survey of Canada in their investigations of lakebed currents and sedimentation, we persisted in acquiring information of the famous Mystery Schooner X in an endeavor to identify her. As members of the Ontario Marine Heritage Committee, we worked in collaboration to aid the Port Dover SOS, who holds the archaeological permit on this vessel. Discovery of her identity would reveal when the ship landed on the bottom, and this would lead the scientists to better understand the sedimentation processes in the Great Lakes. The information we collected was fed to both Art Amos of the OMHC and McQuest Marine, who is working under contract for the Geological Survey of Canada. The video and photographs aided Ian Morgan of McQuest Marine to construct this accurate drawing of the vessel as she lies on the bottom. An avid sailing vessel enthusiast, Ian has done a remarkable job of depicting the vessel's present condition using our images and those collected from the submersible expedition in 1994. During the early summer of 1997, I continued to search for Schooner X using Loran coordinates that did not work so well with our equipment. Using a known shipwreck, I was able to decipher the offset I needed to use the numbers I had. A calm day on the lake brought a victorious finding to a wreck I longed to see. The rest of the summer found us here instead of other sites, gathering information for Art and his colleagues Bill McNeil and Patrick Folks. Art had told us the key details they needed to find out, and we pursued them. If an unidentified shipwrecked sailing vessel is located in the Great Lakes and no name or official number are visible, then identifying the vessel through archival research cannot begin until a number of questions have been answered through underwater observations. Questions such as, what type of vessel is it? Is it a schooner, a bark, brig, a barge? Well, with Mystery Schooner X, it was obvious from her towering masts and dead-eye arrangements that we were dealing with a schooner here. How many masts are there? Again, this was quite evident, since this incredibly intact vessel has both its masts still standing. What are the length, breadth, and depth of hold measurements? We found this vessel to measure 118 feet in length. Art had already measured its breadth off the side scan as being 25 feet. Does the vessel have a figurehead or scroll? Inserted into the bow stem of Schooner X is a beautifully handcrafted scroll piece somewhat resembling a ram's head. Is the stern square or round? Her square stern is remarkably intact, with only one of her yawl boat davits missing. How many decks are there? Our mystery ship has only one deck level. There are also questions to be answered in comparison with official documents and contemporary newspaper accounts, such as, where is the vessel located? This we obviously know as being roughly 8 miles southwest of the tip of Long Point. How deep is the water? Our mystery ship lies in 165 feet of water that is very cold and sometimes incredibly clear. What type of cargo was the vessel carrying? Another crew of divers took a core sample of the hold, and the test results showed the cargo to be grain. Is there any evidence of collision, or did the vessel founder? Mystery Schooner X, intact structure, leads us to believe she must have foundered. There is no evidence of a collision. To place a time frame around the vessel's building date or sinking date, we have to find information concerning the ship's equipment to compare to historical patent records, such as what type of windlass is mounted on or under the deck. The windlass mounted on this vessel is of the era that is indiscernible. Windlasses had many small changes in configurations during the period from 1830 to 1890. It is difficult to ascertain anything in this period. Mussels hide much of the windlass's details on Schooner X. What type of pumps are used? This vessel is unique in that it has a wooden pump and a cast iron Brokenshire pump. Wooden barrel pumps went out after the early 1850s, and wooden pumps came in. This cast iron pump tells us that one may have been replaced with the newer 1860s style. What type of capstan is mounted on the deck? The capstan on this vessel has a plate that reads, Tolcott and Underhill, Oswego, New York. The company Tolcott and Underhill was formed in 1855. This style of capstan became patented in 1856. The capstan, therefore, proved to be a pertinent piece of evidence in the identification. What type of winching system is used for hoisting the centerboard? It appears that there was not a centerboard winch used on this vessel. The sail winch was used instead. The chains coming from the winch towards the centerboard seemed to be going on an angle, possibly indicating that the centerboard was offset. The shipping authority demanded that the centerboards go through the center of the keel after the mid-1860s. This could therefore put its building date before that. What type of steering system sits atop the rudder? The steering gear on this vessel is definitely a Reed's steering gear, which was patented in 1855. This is another pertinent piece of evidence in Mystery Schooner X's identification. Another general question to be answered: is the vessel wire-rigged or rope-rigged? There is no sign of wire rigging on this vessel. We do not see any rope either. Rope would probably be disintegrated, so we can conclude she was rope-rigged. Last, but of the most importance, are there any official numbers carved in the vessel? This helps to not only put the vessel within a certain time era, but if it matches with the enrollment, then we have some definite conclusions. The fraction of the tonnage number in Canada before 1854 was written over the number 94. After that, they had to be written over the number 100. In the U.S., they wrote them over the number 95 before 1865, and then over 100 like the Canadians after 1865. Every time a vessel was enlisted for registry, the latest method had to be used. Therefore, any vessel that sank after 1865 and had numbers over 100 could have been either Canadian or U.S. Although the official number was not found, the tonnage number carved in the forward cargo hatch proved to be the clinching piece of evidence. I found these numbers during one dive while searching for the official number. Hidden behind a board that had fallen from the collapsed cargo hatch, the carved numbers stand out and read 226 and 76 over 100. Finding the numbers did not solve the puzzle, though. We did not have an enrollment or a registry of a vessel with this tonnage. We had a close match with a vessel called the Bemis. A lot of the information we had matched the Bemis, except for the tonnage. Finally, after Art, Bill, and Patrick got together for some in-depth research work, they found a vessel that was not on most casualty lists. Art read through a rare book of Bill McNeil's that lists all U.S. merchant vessels in 1871. Zeroing in on the tonnage numbers, Art stopped when he got to a vessel named St. James. Tonnage, 226 and 76 over 100. But the book does not tell what happened to the St. James in the listing. Excited about his findings, Art phoned marine historian Pat Labadie in Duluth. Very quickly, Pat responded the next day with a news article announcing the demise of the schooner St. James. The news article reads, "Leaving from Toledo Friday evening, October 28, 1870, bound for Oswego with 14,000 bushels of wheat, the St. James sailed off and was never heard of again. Her long absence precludes the slightest hope of her yet being afloat. Although she was a staunch craft and overhauled only last August, she measured 226 tons. Captain John Burrell, her commander, was one of the most able seamen on the lake." Shortly after receiving the news article, Art received enrollments of the St. James from the Washington Archives and the Great Lakes Institute, one enrollment being its latest of May 5, 1870. The St. James' final enrollment described our mystery ship to a T. It reads, "The St. James, being a schooner with 2 masts and 1 deck. She has a scroll head and a square stern. She was originally built in Milan, Ohio in 1856. Her present owner, Andrew Abernathy. Her length is 116 feet, breadth 24, depth 11, and her total tonnage is 226 and 76 over 100. The St. James had been discovered."